I'm back, people. I'm back. Just bear with us. Sometimes, technology, it'll do some crazy things. But we're gonna work it out. We're gonna figure it out. I appreciate y'all patience. I know Janelle was getting ready to go right in. I appreciate you, property grabbers. What's your name? I don't think we met yet. Let's give Janelle another minute. We're gonna get it right back. I appreciate it, man. My man Chuck Styles, man, he gave me he put this artwork together. I had to grab. You know, okay. Yeah, I try to call myself being an adult, so I got some artwork, but I got some artwork that I felt like I would appreciate. Chandria, what's happening? We just come on, Dwayne, make it happen for us. I know, Chandria, we about to bring it. We about to bring it. We giving Janelle another. Here we go. She back. She back. Drum roll. Got the whole team. Get it low. There we go.
I'm so sorry.
Don't worry about it. We here with you. It's okay.
Oh, Dwayne thinks it's my Wi-Fi. Okay.
All right. Well, we appreciate it. But you were saying about going to college and being an engineer and loving math.
Yes. I've always liked chemistry, but I majored in it just so I could get lots of money and then get back into real estate.
Okay. So, when did you get your first property? Like, how long did it take you to get that first property?
So my first property was my dad's property, and it was because it was going to sheriff's sale. My grandmother called me with my last year of college. She said they got a sign up on the door. It's about to go to sheriff's sale, and if you want it, you need to get it. So I actually got a student loan, and I paid the $5,000 worth of taxes I had to pay. So then I kind of forgot about it again, and I went back to school, waited, started working, still wasn't really thinking about it, but she called me again and said that they're about to tear it down. It had like a wall that was part in the back, and Elle and I wrote the orange spray on it and let you know it's pouring down like in
It
a
was
week.
on the list, right?
Yes. So I went down there and to find out what I had to do to get it off the list. And when she's reading the stuff off Sonia, Elle, and I, it just felt like my world was over and I just couldn't handle it. And I was mad that I spent this $5,000 for taxes. And when I was there, this contractor heard me and he's like, "Hey, I have violations." And he went there and it cost me $5,000 and he fixed the back wall. I had joists and all that stuff. So I actually went through a lot of property. The contractor wound up screwing me over later. I had all kinds of problems. But in the end, when I got tenants in there and I started making all this money, I was cash flowing like $700 from that property.
Because you ain't had no mortgage on it.
Oh, I did. I skipped that part of the story. But the way I got the money from that house for the house is I did finance and they did a drive-by appraisal. So what I did was
What year was this? What year was this?
2004.
Okay.
Yes.
The good days, you got in early.
Yes. And someone else, like my mom is a hairdresser, and one of her customers was saying how she had a property corner from mine. It was worth $70,000. I was like, $70,000, so much money. And I was like, I wonder if my old appraised for $70,000. And so fixed up the outside. I put up in there. I painted new door, new windows. Drive-by appraisal. It was a mess on the inside, and it took $7,000. So I used that money to fix it up.
Okay, so you got in back in the day when, like, what's that? It's one of the movies I watched on Netflix when they was like taking people houses and giving all these loans to like the people who didn't have jobs. And...
Yes, no doc loans basically, but
right.
Unfortunately, I didn't know about. I didn't get the benefit of those.
Okay.
Yeah. What I did benefit was a couple years later, like next year, I refinanced again, and the appraiser was like, one of those appraisers and he appraised a high. So I was
Okay.
out more money and finished the second house that I bought, which is a whole nother story. But yeah,
Well, that's not bad though. The fact that you jumped in college, like your last year of college, and just figured it out.
yeah, I figured everything out. Like back then, I didn't know of any mentors. I didn't know of anyone wrestling real estate. I figured everything out the hard way, which I'm not mad at that at all. It just gives me a ton of experience with helping other people, stuff like that. So I learned a lot.
So going from doing it on your own, figuring it out, like just trying to make it happen,
Hmm.
that first property, and then you mentioned the second property that you purchased.
Yeah, the second one is typically how I recommend people buy properties, which is with a FHA loan. So I got my second property. It was a duplex for 60 grand, and I only had to put down 3%, and actually got a seller's assist for like another 3%. So I was like out of pocket like $2,000.
Nice. And
Yeah.
how what's the time span between the first one and the second one?
So once I got the first one rented out, I was buying the second one like a few months later. Like
Okay.
once that money started rolling in, I was sold.
Okay.
So my first property is like I didn't get a good deal on it because my dad had a ton of liens and stuff on it, water bills. I actually paid probably more than what it was worth.
Right.
And then with the drama with the contractor, I overpaid for it at the time.
Right.
So I didn't get in because I got a windfall or I got given a property. The good thing that I got in is because it forced me to get started. It
Right.
forced me to get started and exposed me to the power of real estate.
And when you say the power of real estate, what do you mean?
I mean, back then I meant the money you can make from it.
Okay.
I've learned how powerful it is the older I've gotten, the more experience I've gotten. But at first it was just the cash flow. But now, and I'm trying to teach people this, that it's not just about the cash flow. You make so much more through appreciation and debt pay down. Cash flow is only a portion of it.
So I'm all right. So bring that back.
I know I got so many different things.
No, no, no. So I love it. So I'm saying let's break it down for the people that have no idea. Like when we talk about paying the debt down or depreciation. Like so, I
Yeah.
understand when you say, "Hey, I want cash flow," but let's go. All right. So cash flow in the beginning was, "Hey, I make an extra $500. I put this money in my pocket." You thought you was up. So
That's not the pot of gold. It isn't. Like if you compare $100,000 property that cash flows $700 a month to a 300,000 property that cash flows the same amount, that $300 one is going to make you so much more because the appreciation, the depreciation, the amount you save in taxes, the debt pay down is so much more.
so am I? You said so the 100,000 versus the 300,000.
Yeah, if the cash flow is the same, if
Okay.
that's the same, the more expensive property is better. Like I've seen posts where people say, "Oh, I'm not going to spend 300 on a house that only cash flows $700." And I was like, "That's stupid because you don't know what other benefits it has." So it's
So
just not all about the cash flow.
okay. So that's where I was going to ask you. So for you, you're not looking for the cheap $10,000 and $20,000 properties per se.
So I'm not saying I'm gonna turn them down. If they come across me and I'm not busy, I'll still buy it just because I can. But what I'm really aiming for now is more expensive properties that also I need both. I'm not going to just buy just for appreciation or just for debt pay down. It needs to have both. So if I have a property that's 300, 400, and I can cash 1,200, $2,000, and again, it has to be a multifamily to leverage my my risk, to go and spread the risk. But my goal right now is to buy more expensive properties that also can because of the appreciation and pay down that I can pull the equity out later. Something massive. So I'm not shitting on cheap properties because I've done those too. I've
Okay.
used my cash flow as those, but now I'm just trying to get more properties.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, multifamily,
Mm-hmm.
higher price point,
Yep.
faster pay
Yeah.
down of the mortgage because you got multifamily bringing in larger amounts of rent.
Yep.
But then you also get other benefits outside of the cash flow, such as tax appreciation, or well, tax depreciation,
Mhm.
property appreciation.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, like when I'm doing my taxes and it puts in all the like my depreciation is like 80,000 a year. So all that is taken off of what I owe just from and that's like invisible money, you know?
Well, nah, it's definitely visible when it
It's
comes to talking
visible,
to the IRS. That's the
right?
people
But
I.
people don't think about that. They don't think about that
Well,
savings.
that's because I think most of the time when we hear about the real estate game, everybody's always talking about how much money you're making. Like you said, like, oh, like I hear people tell me like I'm buying an $85,000 property and I'm mad because it only cash flows $500. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to like, and then on top of that, you use some kind of loan that was maybe on their occupant, and you only put down like $4,000. Like, but you want more. Like, I'm confused. Like,
How people just aren't satisfied. I'm like $500 cash flow. That's $500 a month.
right, that you didn't do something for. Somebody else went to work and paid you.
Exactly.
But on top of that, I always tell people too, it's that one property of 500 that goes with everything else you got going on. It's a
Yeah,
compound effect.
that's right.
Right. So, but I like your strategy of even thinking, because I mean, I've been honestly thinking about doing cheap properties because I'm kind of in between. Like, I'm not scared, but I'm scared.
Get in the door with the cheap property. And if you want to stay there, stay there. But I just see more potential in the more expensive. And I'm at a point where I can buy more expensive. I couldn't always buy. I've worked my way. And I don't shit on having partners, but I've done this without partners, you know, so I get to keep all the money myself. I have worked my way to this.
So when you say partners, like, what do you mean partners?
I mean, like, so if you can't buy a property for 40,000, or and you know, the other thing is that the pool of new investors is so saturated that there's not really any cheap properties around anymore. So if you have to get in at $150,000 mark, you know, partner up if you have to.
Okay,
But
understandable. And I tell people now, just comparing 2004 to 2020, the
mhm.
$50,000 house is now the $150,000 house, depending on the neighborhood you're in.
Yeah,
So
yep,
so the money is different. You got to pay to play per se, but
yeah,
the
yep,
rents do come in, and like in these neighborhoods, people are mad. But it's like, hey, we are paying more money for these houses. This is why we're asking for this much more money in rent.
yeah. I mean, I'm pretty much only buying triplexes at that price point. I'm not buying single family for 150.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, at that price point of 150, the pool's not that saturated. Like, there's so many properties for 150 triplexes.
Mm. See, now you got me even thinking about my flips. So like if I bump my price point up, which right now the price point I normally do 50 to 100,
Yeah, it's too saturated.
you
It's too
can't.
full.
Right. But if I bump up to 150, 200, but I could sell for 400,
Yeah,
500.
yes. There's not a lot of competition.
Ooh, I appreciate that. See, I learn something every
Yeah,
day.
something good.
See, well, and also you tried to slide it in, but I'm gonna pull a little bit. You said buying triplexes.
Yeah.
So I saw your post the other day. You bought how many triplexes side by side in 2012?
Oh, 5.
Wait, so 5 triplexes.
Yeah, that project, it killed me.
But it made you a beast though.
It is. Like, I can appreciate it more now. I hated it for a long time. I was scarred. I was scarred for a long time. And I didn't want to do any more like total rehab, sprinkler system, triplexes. And I still am not doing that. I'm not doing sprinkler
Not
system. Mm-mm. It's just too much. It's too much involved. And doing 5 at a time, thinking I was pregnant. You know, I just stayed pregnant the past, like my 30s is just full of me being pregnant. But and, you know, it's hard because I'm at a point where I can relate in real estate. I'm trying to raise a family and confliction, but yeah, those try they kick my.
So so those triplexes though, like how'd you, so one, you said you were pregnant and you were rehabbing 5 triplexes, but like how'd you find 5 triplexes side by side?
You know what? I mean, I think it was probably a blessing because I got three, which was supposed to be four at the PHA auction. And
Okay, Philadelphia Housing Authority auction.
yeah, the first one they auctioned off 400,
Right.
and the package that I got was the cheapest. I got the cheapest package, and I understand why later, like in the hood. Like I haven't had so much people break in as much as I had. They were ripping off my security doors.
those those was the professionals.
I've never seen that before in my life. Like
Okay.
I've done plenty of rehabs in the hood, but like there it was bad. But what saved me was Simply Safe.
Okay, finally cut down on it.
Yes, it did. I got like a really loud alarm. Simply Safe, they saved me. I'm not even plug the Simply Safe. That's what stopped it.
We're gonna have to hit them up to get your sponsorship.
Mm-hmm. Cute.
How long did it take you to rehab those buildings?
So, I did the permits and everything with that project. I had plans. They kept getting sent back. I mean, it took like a year and a half.
But that's not bad. You talking about so talking about 5 triplexes.
If
And
I did permits, I could have had it done in 6 months.
I could imagine. However, we're not mad at you for following the rules. We're not mad at that.
It's
But
hard. I don't want to do it anymore.
and I mean the tough part is it's kind of hard not to pull permits when you got 5 big buildings like that side by side. L&I is bound to ride down the street. Look, she like she like, look, they won't catch me like that again. I know that. We're gonna put the tape on the windows and the trash bag.
I mean, they didn't catch me. I decided to do it right. And, I thought I had to because I got the PHA.
Right.
So I thought I had to. But, so 3 of them were supposed to be from the auction. And then after I had won the bid, one of them actually popped up in my box from my wholesale.
Okay.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah. So then I got that one. And then last one, I pushed the sheriff sale.
The other one you pushed the sheriff's out. You paid the $700.
It was free. I didn't have to pay.
Put it. Okay, so
They make you pay.
From what I thought, I was told if you want to like send a property to sheriff's sale, you got to pay like $650 or $700 or something.
I didn't have to. I haven't done
but it went. Either way, it went though, and you bought it.
It went. Yep. It took 2 years, but it went.
Okay, all right, that's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Creative. Now people gonna be trying to figure out how to send people houses to sheriff's sale.
Yep.
But it's tough now though, because what year you said that was 2012 though.
Yep.
So it's like sheriff's sale, like you said, it's a little more saturated now. So you kind of gotta.
Yes, the sheriff's sales. I mean, the taxes might be less saturated because wait a year before that was
right. Okay.
But definitely, those are too high.
So and then you slid that in there about trying to raise the family, handle house stuff. So are you all this time? Are you also still working your 9 to 5?
I don't have a 9 to 5.
No, I'm talking about. So in 2012.
No, oh no, I had quit once I got those triplexes. I had a triplex and my favorite set of twins. Once those got occupied, I left my job.
Okay, so 2004 to 2010 or 2012.
Yep, 2012. Yep.
All right, so we put that time in, and then we quit once we replaced the job income with the properties.
Exactly what happened. Yeah, I matched my income.
And
yeah.
Most majority multifamily, it sounds like.
Yeah, I had 3 single families, but yeah, it was majority multi.
And then the other twins, that's Parkside.
Those are Quints. But yeah, Parkside. The twins are on Parkside.
Right. But those are, what are they? Duplexes, triplexes?
They're quads.
Ooh.
Yeah. Those are my babies.
Side by side.
Mm-hmm. I got the second one. So my mom, I was still working at the time. My mom had hip surgery. So I leveraged that and was like, yeah, my mom needs me to take care of her for a month. So I didn't work for a month. So as having the house next door, I see these pictures and I'm like, what's going on? So I asked my contractor, what's going on? He was like, oh, the house is going for shit. I was like, well, where's fine? He was like, someone came by and I was like, why are you heck? So I had to like run to my credit union, get the money out. It was, if I had been there, I wouldn't have known. I
So
wouldn't have got.
you like the sheriff cell queen, you just been snatching stuff up.
No, that was the only 2 times I've been to the sheriff's sale.
But you came back out with a handful of buildings though.
I
You
know.
didn't just go and get like I got a little house. No, you got
Ain't
2
that pretty?
quads, then you got 3 triplexes, like
5
you
tries.
were just walking through with your pocketbook, just stuffing them in there.
And I mean, that's just a small portion of my portfolio. I'm not.
Wait, so there's more. There's more.
There's tons more.
Wait, all right. So before we talk about the more, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do let's just go for like the basic person, like that's trying to figure it out from the standpoint of, hey, I'm trying to get enough money to buy a couple properties.
Yeah.
And like just trying to figure out best route. Like you said, FHA gets you in the door.
All right.
Owner occupant.
I'm going to tell you what I tell people. The best way to invest is to buy rehabs with cash or hard money. Because if you buy something that with a mortgage, it means it's in shape. So you're not buying it with a lot of equity. But if you can buy something to rehab it, then you're buying it with equity. You should get some cash out, and you can really grow faster that way. But if you don't have money, you have good credit, go to FHA route. But if you have access to credit or you have money, best way to do is the rehab route. But that has its own challenges with contractors and stuff like that. But that's the best route to go. And to be honest, I've used my credit cards heavy. I've been meaning to make about it, but I wouldn't be here without my credit cards.
So LLC, hard money, leverage, refinance, and are you opposed to having all of those mortgages, or is the goal like you got them and then you just pay them down, like, or?
I am the debt mortgage queen. Okay, mortgages do not. I promote them. People say stuff like, "Oh, I want to leave my debt-free property." Why? Like, you're leaving a property. You can use that money to more property or life. Like, you don't have to pay off property. These are cash. These are assets. They're going to grow in value. Don't
Right. So it's always a gap.
Yeah.
So that, and I'll just add, over time as you start collecting insurance policies, those insurance policies, if you want them to, could pay the mortgages if something did happen to you over time.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And then you should have life insurance. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about that BRRRR strategy though. Is it hard to refinance? Can we ask you, like, are there like, what do you have anybody you recommend for refinancing?
So,
and I guess, and also, is it hard to refinance being self-employed?
right.
I know that was my challenge in the beginning.
Yes. So that is the key. If you're working 9 to 5, it's pretty easy to get refinance, assuming that your debt is out of control. Like, don't happen all the time, and you keep your personal debt low. And but when you're working, just doing this full time, you're self-employed, you can get loans from banks that have higher interest rate, so you can still get a loan. They're just not going to be the best loan. If you want a loan, you really have to make sure your numbers are right, and that's claiming money on your taxes, calculating your debt coverage ratio, making sure rents are high, your expenses. You really have to watch your.
Which is why the multi-families work well, because you got more cash flow coming out of them.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, before, when I did buy single families, I did them mostly so I can get cash out. They don't cash flow as much, but I will only buy where I can take a lot of money out. Because at the time, I wasn't able to take a lot of money out of the duplexes, but I realized with triplexes, I can take a lot of money out of triplexes and cash flow. So I don't hate duplexes. I love duplexes because you don't need a fire alarm. It's only 2 people that you got to deal with each other. But triplexes, you get more money. It's just more money.
So like our market now in Philly, like prices are already crazy. So like, are you able to still find good deals in Philly right now, triplex wise?
Because there's not a lot of people buying.
Okay, but that's why you said go up in price point, you separate yourself.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
Like
oh,
I have a contract now.
say it again.
I have 2 under contract now.
And you're still buying in a pandemic.
You know what? It is because this guy, he owns, well, he's selling right next to a property that I have. And he actually tracked me down
Okay.
and tracked me out. Just refinance. I was like, I don't want to buy nothing else. I need to break it. He's like, I'll wait for you. I want you to have. I was like, you know what? You want me to have them? I'll help you. I'll buy them. Fine.
Look,
So,
why not? Go ahead, I'll buy them.
I gotta oblige you. So yeah, he waited like 3 months, and I was like, all right, yes.
So what do you just like go down the street and let the neighbors know you buy the houses on the block? Because every block you don't just own one on one block. You getting multiples.
I don't know. Maybe they just like me. But another guy tried to sell me one too, and I was like, I just can't. Yeah. But
Yo,
yeah.
gonna have to hit my guy Dwayne up. Tell these guys like, yo, stop, yo, you can't talk to her. You talk to management first. Talk to management.
But it's like that's what happened. It's like once you put your name out there,
okay,
people know you. And the guy's like, I met you before. You're really nice. So they know I'm nice and I'm a good landlord. So they call me.
So how does that work being a landlord of all these properties and tenants? Because like I know trying to manage all them people and personalities, are you self-managing or are you working with a property manager?
So we self-manage. We tried a lot of property managers, and we've just decided that we're just going to start like a real company and manage.
Okay. And are you using any software to keep the books for all that stuff?
Yeah, it's Buildium.
Buildium.
Yeah. And Buildium is great because you can set people up for all kinds of payments. Tenants can pay in 7-Elevens. Yes. So they have so many options for tenants to be able to pay, and they keep track of stuff and mail out letters and all that. It's pretty good.
Yeah, so I got to get my life together. Like I tried QuickBooks for a second, and it was super complicated. I didn't like it.
Either. I mean, I still need help with the bookkeeping part. But as
At
far
least
as
it's in one spot, though.
well, Buildium actually tracks expenses too.
Right. No, but that's what I'm saying. Everything's in there. At least in Buildium, you could give it to somebody else and let them sort through it.
Yes. You can hire different managers for that. Like I actually want to hire a virtual assistant to help with.
Yeah. So I got an Excel chart. But my accountant's like, yo, this isn't helping us. Like this isn't like same face look you made. That's what she does. She's like, yo, like you want to go get $1 million from the bank with this? She's like, no, it's not this. Yeah. We got to stop this.
The banks will take spreadsheets.
Last time I did that, they gave me a little fuss. They gave me a little, yeah.
No, I saw them spreadsheets. They take my stuff.
Well, so can we ask you? You didn't like where can we go for the refi? Like we talked about it, but
so I refi through PFCU, Philadelphia Federal Credit Union.
Federal Credit Union. In the LLC.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All my LLC, because once you do stuff in your personal, it's like a max that you could do. Plus, you don't want it on your personal credit, so it needs to be in your.
Okay. And then, are you doing any flips, or is everything strictly rentals?
I do flips, but I do easy flips. Like I would call them first-time home buyer flips. I don't finish the basement. I don't make them fabulous, but they're nice.
Okay.
And the market is jumping for that too, because everyone wants to do a flip and make it fabulous and make it $250. I'll buy something for like 40, put 15 into sell it for 100, 110, and I'll be out in a month or less.
With less headache.
Yes, it's a lot less headache.
Right. Okay.
So those are the kind of things I do. You know, nothing Instagram worthy.
You talking paint, kitchen,
$40,000-$50,000 you can make.
Okay, paint, kitchen, roof. You out of there?
And a bathroom. I mean, no, but you know what? I'll reglaze the tub. I'll glaze the tiles. Put new and paint, and yeah, it looks great. New floor. That's my one. I love new floors.
Okay, so carpet upstairs, hardwood downstairs.
There's hardwood downstairs.
Okay.
And it looks like $1 million. You paint, put a new floor in there, $1 million.
So the flips, the rentals, do you have a preference in which one?
So single family I've been flipping just because I don't really want to keep them anymore.
Okay.
So if I come across a easy single family, I'll sell it real quick. But I'll keep all the Maldives.
Okay. And during this journey, am I allowed to ask, like, because you said earlier, like, hey, it was tough trying to work on these properties and just everything you went through in the, like over that year and a half period. So it's like, what helped you like all this time? So 2004 to 2020, that's 16 years in the game, really.
No, so I can't believe that long. I
It,
really, sometimes I feel like I'm still that young girl learning stuff, and people look up like it just feels weird.
well, I guess I get about the wear, but it's like, nah, like you put that time in, like I be trying to think like, yo, I want to get to that point where like, yo, it's clicking, it's all on cylinders. Like I'm doing stuff now, but we still figuring it out. So it's good to know, like, yo, if you stay at it, like this is what you
So
can get.
I feel like when I got to like my sixth, seventh, eighth property, it started really clicking, and it's mostly because I found my contractor. I mean, it took me 5 properties to get to my main guy, and we're still rocking and rolling. He goes serious, like he disappeared for a month. He just said today it was like we can meet tomorrow, and I'm like, all right, finally got your life together. But it took me to get my contractor, and once you get your contractor and you've learned some things, you've been through things, like, start rolling. People say that I just want 5 properties and be done, but once you get there, you know how to do it, and you just gonna keep buying.
That's dope. My Doug Depp, he said that too. He said like, yo, once he got his crew together, now
Yeah,
it's like nothing he can't do.
yep. The crew's very. You just got to keep trying people. Don't get complacent with someone who's bad. Make sure you cut the cord early. Like if you hire someone and they, I don't know, install the door crooked, just stop them right there. Don't be nice. You can't be nice with these contractors. That's
Not at all. I told somebody that. I said, yo, I'm not being personable with none of these dudes no more.
I
Or the
mean,
female contractors. Like I tried to, but like
right.
I had one come to my wedding and everybody, oh, yo, you always talk about I said because I'm tight. I let this dude come to my wedding and
Uh-huh.
then he did me dirty on a project. Like, nah, like if I bring you in, I thought we was family. Now it's no love.
Yep.
Do your job and get paid. Leave.
Yes, right. And I mean, I've broken up, gotten back together with contractors all the time. I thought you were gonna dump me. I was like, oh, I need you to get. But I'll be quick to someone that does a terrible job.
I
Some
understand.
sometimes they can't, and if they can't, then we just can't work together. I mean, you got to take criticism when you do something wrong.
So that's the one thing with contractors, ego. They're
Yes,
not. Don't.
you gotta go and be like, oh, this is so beautiful, and they are so proud. They show you did. You go, oh, you did that. Yeah, that is really nice. Typical man.
Oh!
Yeah, so you gotta show the age and babysit and all that stuff.
Right. Well, the grown man babysitting service that is especially with the contractors.
Yeah, so and so did this. They cut my wire. They did that. Oh, did they? Let me call us at them. But it's all about managing and dealing with people and finding out work together who you work with. So
Okay. Is it hard for you to like disconnect sometimes? Like what you bring your work home, your work with you home?
I've gotten better, especially since I've hired a project manager. I'm training her actually, and she's doing a really good job. I think about stuff a whole lot less. Yet. So I don't really take stuff home. I don't like to call me, on the weekends. I just ignore it all. But you let stuff bother you. Just gotta keep in mind, as long as you just keep pushing and just do your best, don't let it bother you.
No. And so from that dynamic, husband and wife, entrepreneurs, like, do you recommend couples do the business together, or you think it's easier to keep it separate?
I think if you guys are just on the same and you have your different roles, and each one feels the weight, and I think it could.
Okay.
I can't be completely honest.
Well, I mean, hey, that's what we're here for. Like, cause like I said, I told you earlier, like, hey, I talked to my wife about getting into real estate, but it's not really her thing. So I also don't want to push it on her. But it's like, hey, it
What
doesn't.
part?
Say it again.
What part isn't her thing?
Well, she just says like, hey, she doesn't have an interest in it per se.
Well, she doesn't have to. I mean, I'd be perfectly fine if he wasn't into it.
Oh, well. So
Because it's like a job. You don't have to have someone who's into your job to do it. I mean, unless you're losing money. I mean, then it will be a problem.
okay.
Like if the money rolling and shit, I wouldn't.
No, so that's what I'm saying. Just trying to find that balance of like, hey, we're gonna go do this together, or maybe we're not gonna do this together.
Yeah, no, because of the money, and it can get hard because sometimes you might have a money pit, and to get out of it, you got to spend more money. Hard. So I understand that.
Okay. You mean
Yeah.
from the standpoint of like if you got two entrepreneurs and like we in this project and now the household is in a disarray. But
No, I meant like if you're investing in a property
Mhm.
and like, for budget and something goes wrong and then you have to spend more money and one person's like, I didn't want to do this real estate anyway. Like, why cost some more money? Why is life like this? Why can't we do this? Because sacrifice. So I understand that part would be tough doing it
Okay.
because things go wrong. She doesn't understand that things go wrong and that things will get better once you sell it or
Get through it, right?
hard. They have to understand the business and know that things go wrong because things go wrong all the time.
In real estate, things go wrong.
I know. Can you believe it? It's not just all like pretty kitchens and cash flow. No.
Right. Cash flow, flipping properties and making millions of dollars and
Yes.
and flying in Jetsons. No.
People don't understand. And I have done like projects for people who
Mhm.
never done real estate, and I won't do it anymore because they don't appreciate it. They don't know the work it's, and they complain about like this thing. I'm like, yo, you just cashed out 20 grand. Don't bother me because
And you cash flowed it and didn't do the work. I did it for you.
exactly like go fix that thing for $400. Don't bother me or complain to me. Oh, I hope they're.
So you're GC or you used to GC other people's projects?
I did. It started because I wanted to keep my crew busy. So back when things were slow for me and I wanted to keep my crew busy, I would do stuff for other people.
Okay.
Yeah, but now I just don't have the time. I just don't. It's not worth it. Like, I mean, I'll make a few $1,000s, but it's not worth the headache.
Okay. And being a female in this industry, you find it hard. You find it that it's easy.
The only thing I don't like is people try to insult me by thinking that I don't know stuff or like for the longest time, and I would meet someone, they'd be like, "Oh, what you got, like 2 properties?" I'd be like, I mean, not saying nothing's wrong with 2 properties, but I just felt like, why would you assume that I only had 2 properties? And I said I'm a real estate investor full time. Why properties?
Right. No, it's just like, why would you assume that and disrespect me? And like, look, I probably put more time in than you did.
He said it. And recently, I did a property tour last week, and I was telling him how I'm hiring a project manager to help me out. The guy was like, "Well, I'm surprised you haven't hired one already. This is a big project." And I'm like, I don't need a property manager. I can handle this project fine.
Right.
I just handle the other project about to start.
He sounded like he might have been a little intimidated, so he was trying to, try and push a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, so I really have problems in that per se. I feel like I can handle my stuff. I just don't.
I saw that. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like I just don't like it when people underestimate me.
I got you. Well, I saw that crazy tenant or the situation you had at the one project on Instagram. The tenant didn't want to leave.
I just don't know the story with him, but he's kind of been on the back burner because there's 4 projects working on there, and I'll just work on that last. I'm in the process of trying to get them out. So there was 3 options. I was trying to do cash for keys. That didn't work. And
he
then
said the government sent him there.
Yeah, the president. He spoke to the president.
He paid already. You gonna have to cut a check for him.
gosh, yeah. He was so drunk. Like I've dealt with him before, and he was nice, and cordial, but he thinks I lied to him. He doesn't believe that I own the properties. Basically,
He thinks you're what?
he thinks I'm a real estate agent. He's like, "You're just a realtor," and I'm like, "No, I'm the owner." I showed him the paperwork. I didn't have to show him the paperwork, but I showed it to him. And I was trying to work with him. I honestly was. I was because he would cut the grass, he shovels the snow, and whenever I have a tenant like that around because he's helpful. But
He's been there for some time. I guess he came with the property.
he did, and the people who sold to me, they told me that
That he was what?
he was a good person.
I mean, he may be a good person, but he's also, when he drinks, I got a tenant like that
Yeah,
you can't talk to him.
I had a couple of them.
Oh.
Yeah, that alcohol, man.
I got one now that's been trying to withhold rent because her window is it's not even broke. It doesn't stay up. So like it's fixable. I'm like, lady, like it's not like it's the window. Like windows are on back order for 4 to 6 weeks. What do you want me to do?
Yes. You know, I don't know if you saw the story when I had a fire recently in May. That was one of the other problem tenants that I have. And I'm actually just filed for eviction for her. But she's one of the drunks who go crazy.
Wait, but the house had a fire. How's she still in it?
Well, I couldn't do evictions. Oh, it wasn't like a bad fire because I have a sprinkler system in that one. So the sprinklers were able to put it out. But
she had a little kitchen fire.
So her boyfriend torched the whole way because he was mad. Probably because she drove him crazy. But yeah, Tenant Chronicles. Exactly. He lit fire in the hallway at 3:00 in the morning. So if I didn't have a sprinkler system in there or a fire alarm system, who knows what would happen?
They might have had to been out a little faster. Like, I don't know if I could wait for the court once your boyfriend, like, that got to be grounds that automatically leave. Like, you damaged property.
Yep, the courts were closed. I even called my attorney. I said, yo, it was a fire. I can't evict for that either. But she's on her.
Okay. Yeah, my wife just reminded me about my tenant, like my drunk tenant. She grabbed my butt the last time I was at the house. Now I don't even go I don't go. I'm not like, and she like an old lady, like snaggletooth old lady with the belly from drinking the Steel Reserves. Like,
I just send my maintenance guy over there. Like, whoever, like an angry person who needs a man, I send one of my maintenance guys over there. I'm like, come on, make her happier.
Nah, well, she tried. I like, yo, like, lady, don't touch me no more. Like, please don't do that. She did the shut the door behind me move.
What's that move? I don't know. No one's ever done that to me. Wow.
That was story for another day. It's all right. It's all right. But anything else you just want to give the people that look like not even the new people, but just the people that might be struggling with, like, I had these 3 properties, just say for 3 years, and I want more. I know I could do more, but I can't get out my own way.
I mean, it depends on how much more you want, but everyone who I talk to, the first question they ask me is always, how did you scale? And when they tell me they have properties that they've had for 10 years, I'm like, yo, you got so much equity in there. Finance it. I said, the comps are crazy right now. Wow, now is the best time to refinance. So go in there, paint, clean up, and refinance.
Use what you have to create more.
Yes. And you know what? Because rates are so low, your payment will probably be even less than what it is now.
Or even the same, because even with the mortgage going up, so you're still not mad because you're winning.
Yes. Yep. So my special message is to refinance.
Refinance queen. I love it. I love it.
I need to tell this story about this property that Dwayne has. He refinanced and pulled out like another $100,000 after just 3 years. Yep, and then he bought an 8-unit with refinance.
I know about the 8 units. I know about the 8 units. Yeah, that was a recent purchase, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, so y'all both multifamily king and queen right now.
Well, I trained them. Yes.
Hey, well, they
There
say
are,
he who finds a wife finds a good thing. So, you know,
yeah,
he found a good one. You told him right. I ain't mad at that. So
yeah.
that's what's up.
Wow. Like I was proud of her at 8 units. Eight. I don't even have a unit, so that's good. So,
Sorry about my phone hack. Somebody called. Can you hear me?
hmm
Okay. For those who, well, before I get to my last question, before I get to that question, my last question for you is, you got any good podcasts or books that you recommend, whether it's real estate related or just personal growth?
so I haven't read a book in so long. I should have like went and found something, but no. So when I first started investing, I was reading all the books. I got booked out. I was like, this is enough. Same thing. Other people's money. So I haven't read it for a long time. I do audiobooks now sometimes, but I listen
That's
to
fine.
a lot of podcasts.
So
So
what pod can you recommend any podcasts that you like?
of course, listen to big. Even though I feel like I'm experienced, I still learn things here and there. Like there's nuggets that I pick up that I forgot about. But I do listen to bigger podcasts. And then I listen to different podcasts because I still like to learn about money and making sure that I'm well rounded.
So
Just
Bigger Pockets, and what was the other one?
this is one I listen to. It's called, I think it's called the Money Ripple Effect or something. But I like this guy's views on money.
You
I
remember his name?
no, but I listen to
About
it
Money Ripple Effect. We'll look it up. We'll look it up.
like that. But yeah, I like to learn about money and how to make money and how to save it.
Okay. And then where can people find you on social media?
It's so sweet. Sweet is SUITE, like hotel suite.
Okay. And then are you doing any seminars in the future once we get out of this COVID stuff? Can we get a seminar out of you or something?
It's something that I'm really fighting with. Part of the reason why I joined Instagram was one, to get private investors, and they've been hitting me up like crazy. And
You said to get property who?
private investors
Okay, private investors. Okay.
get more money. And then when I saw, people like Doug Depp and Atia Blair making all this money from these seminars, I'm like having FOMO a little bit. But I just don't know when it's on my horizon. I just keep buying properties. Maybe it's when I stop buying properties, I'll slow down and do something.
So I'm saying, hey, if I set it up and we get you to be one of the panelists or the speakers.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll be happy to do that.
Yeah, we'll get the legwork. Me and my guy Newt just asked Newt the entrepreneur, the credit repair specialist. So it's like, hey, I'll help people find the house. You teach them how to buy it. Newt fix their credit. It's a win-win.
Perfect trio.
There you go. There you go. And then but then you slid this in there though. I didn't even think about that. So investing with other people's money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna act like I don't know, but what is that?
Basically using credit and private investing and just not using any of your own money. I mean, I don't really use any of my own money anymore. My cash flow gets spent mostly on childcare, but I don't really use my cash flow to buy properties. I use all credit cards and lines of credit and hard money loans. And it's really the game. That's part of the game, not using your own money. Once you learn how to use leverage and all that, you don't really have to use your own money to buy properties. Yeah.
So I know what they want to know now. If somebody wants to reach out to you and just talk to you, or consulting, is that possible? If somebody hits you in a DM or hits your link tree?
Right. So I need, but I'm not really doing mentorships. I'm considering doing consults and just charging for, half an hour. Because I feel like with a mentorship, I'll invest too much. Because with any job I've done, I've always really put my heart into it. I've done well. But now that I have a family and those people who I'm trying to build up, I really can't handle the mental capacity to really help someone else. Because I really would want you to be successful.
Right.
So if I ever did mentorship, I would probably only do like 3 people at a time, like that. But if I do, I'll do consultations.
So the consultations are coming.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I know people are excited and looking forward to being able to do that.
Someone saying they reached out to me several times. Happened. I answered you, right?
You could have been dealing with one of the contractors, you know,
No,
but you.
I'm sure I answer everyone. And she didn't answer my Oh, you recently, I saw you. You said you appreciate me liking your pictures, and I'm going to reach back out to you. Just give me a minute.
So that's you got to get used to the social media world. They be a little pushy sometimes, a little
Yeah,
pushy.
this is new to me. This is sometimes it's overwhelming. I had to turn my notifications off because I was answering everybody. I was like, I can't do this. This is draining.
Right
But
now, and that's true. So like that's the thing people got to understand. You're still trying to live your life, handle your project. So it's like you want to help as many people as you can, but at the same token, you know, you got to do it, I guess, in the right time, in the right mind frame, kind of thing.
yeah, and I really love to be a resource. I do. And when I answer people, like I do like a full paragraph. So
Okay.
to you, it's only because I want to say more. Like I don't just give like,
Half
short
answers, right?
answer. Thank you, destination body. We even talked on the phone, so I do answer.
All right. Well, that's what's up. Well, we look. Well, all I'm gonna say is I know everybody appreciates you. We definitely appreciate you giving us.
Hey, does someone want to ask a question?
Say it again.
Do they want to do some Q&A? I saw someone ask for a Q&A.
Go ahead, property grabbers. What's your question? Shoot your question.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm very approachable. If you ever see me, just come talk to me. Like I'm not bougie or anything like that.
Property grabbers. What's your question? You writing a paragraph. What you got for us? Newt, did you have another question, Newt? I think I answered your question, right, Newt?
No? Okay.
Or I got one last question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, somebody wants to know what was the process on hiring a project manager?
So I really have a hard time trusting people because I get let down often. And my property manager came about because we've been friends for a long time and she got laid off. So, and she offered, she was like, do you still need an assistant? And I was like, you want to work with me? And she knows me, like she knows I can be hard to work for and like fine with all that. She can't well.
But y'all understand each other already. Y'all are dug in with that report.
Yeah, yep. And she's been doing a good job. Really organized. I'm not really that organized, so she's been straightening stuff out. But yeah, I got lucky with that.
Okay.
Give advice about hiring people because I'm not really good at it.
Somebody asked, can you talk about how to leverage other people's money? Like, are you giving them a monthly return or do you pay them back in full at the end?
So I've never worked with a person. I've only dealt with credit cards and lines of credit banks.
Okay, so that's what you mean by other people's money.
Yeah, so I did get on here to partner with other people, but by the time people start reaching out to me, I already have more than enough of my own money, and I just haven't. And when I say my own money, I mean like from my properties, from refinancing properties. Like once I tapped into that, unless I get something huge, like something that's worth dollars that I can't pay for myself, I'm not really going to partner.
Gotcha. Okay, so when you say other people's money, definitely mean the credits in the bank institution. Okay.
I mean, people are out partner. I get hit up all the time.
And then even with using the credit cards, I guess, how are you able to use do you swipe it at the settlement desk or?
So, post like in draft mode. My credit card just offered me a balance transfer offer. So I've had this card for years and my limit is like 100 grand with them. And whenever I pay it off a month or two later, they hit me back with take 70,000 at 0%, 3% balance transfer fee. It's like the cheapest money that you can get. The only thing is the payback terms are higher. The amortization is 2 to 5 years, so the payback is high. So when you take your money out, you gotta take your money out and use that to pay it too. Like the whole thing, spend the whole thing. Keep some in reserve to pay the payment.
Pay the money back with their money, right?
And I do that with hard money too. I inflate my my rehab budget because I try to get my down payment back, and I'm with that.
So somebody asked, does PFCU have a seasoning period? How long do you have to own the property?
They don't have a season period.
Okay, and then somebody else just asked, are you buying multifamily by right, or are you doing conversions? Because I saw your post maybe a month ago. You did do a conversion.
I've done a ton of conversions. I did it before everyone was up on it. Now everyone's up on it and the prices have gone up. I've been doing conversions since 2011.
So can you give us like the crash course to conversion?
Yeah, since the word is out now, I might as well tell y'all. So, and plus the city has gotten rid of a lot of them, especially in Southwest Philly, which is where we were buying them. Like we were buying them for like 35, 40, anything below 50, we were buying. And you buy them RM1s that you have to check the lot size. And if there's overlays, you have to go to Atlas. Okay, go to Atlas, go to zoning, and check for overlays, because that's another thing. If there's no overlay, the lot space has to be 360 times, or whatever divided by 360 is what you can get out of it. So if the lot size is 1,000 and there's no overlay, you can get 3 units. Okay, but when you do 3 units, keep in mind that you have to put in a sprinkler system and a fire alarm system. Okay.
But if I just do a 2-unit,
just a duplex, you don't have to put a fire alarm or.
But the goal is,
if there's an overlay, you have to, the lot space has to be divided by 4.
What's the overlay? You keep saying overlay. What's the overlay?
You have to look in Atlas, and it will tell you. So the overlay is the reason why you'll not be able to put units to that building. So whenever you see email from wholesale and they say it's RM1, make sure you check that lot size, because they've been selling RM1s. Lot size is not big enough.
So somebody said it. What if it's RSA 5?
You have to go in front of the zoning board.
Okay.
But if it's by right, you walk in and walk right out with your permit.
But it's just gonna be a longer process before you get into the zoning board versus the other one. You could do that over the counter.
Yes, RM1, you walk in, walk out with your over the counter. If it's zone RSA 5 or anything else, you need a variance. Exactly, you need a variance, and to get the variance, you have to have support from your neighbors. So you got to go in front of neighbors. You got to tell them exactly what you're doing. They're going to be like, are you putting Section 8 in there? Are you putting so? Are you trying to gentrify the neighborhood? You know, all these things. What about the parking?
Y'all going to take up the parking. That's the point.
Yes. So they have all these concerns, and you need to bring your friends in there, bring your people, bring your family, because that helps too. They're like, oh, look at that.
The whole crew? You bring the whole crew?
Yes. I'm sure that's what got me approval last time. I had a whole family there. Kids was running around. My daughter came there, was on the stage with me. But yeah, so you have to get approved from the RCO. And I think once you get from the RCO, you're pretty much in there.
Okay. Well, look, we definitely appreciate you. They say we got 1 minute and 30 seconds left. You got anything else you want to leave us with?
Everyone should buy some real estate, even if it's just 1 or 2. It'll be that one thing that can give you that windfall if you need it. Like, people sue to get money, but you sold a house finance 10 years later, you can get $100,000. So buy at least 1 or 2 properties.
Right. And the crazy thing is, you're going to pay a mortgage or you're going to pay somebody's mortgage or a mortgage somewhere anyway. So you might as well be paying yours.
Pocket, that's right.
I love it. I got a lot of new, so I appreciate you. I'm looking forward. Look, I'm going to hold you to it, though. 2021, we're going to do an event.
No problem. I'll be happy to.
Well, thank you. That was easy. Thank you. So thank you again, people. Make sure y'all stay tuned. Next week, we're going to be right back at it. I want to say that T is on next week.
Okay.
So I'm excited to hear her story and journey as well. So thanks again, Janelle.
All right.
And salute to you.
All right, bye-bye.